Welcome to SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with the headlines. Khaleda Zia's condition remains stable, said Dr. SATV Zahid. Treatment continues. International Crimes Tribunal indict ousted Hasina and 12 others in enforced disappearance case. Police obstruct protest march to Assistant High Commission of India in Rajshahi. Now in details. BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia's health condition remains stable and she is continuing her treatment as advised by doctors, said her personal physician, Dr. SATV Zahid Hussain. He also made the comment while briefing journalists outside Evercare Hospital this afternoon. He also said over the last few days, she has been able to maintain the same physical condition she was in earlier. However, he cautions that her condition is complicated due to prolonged illness and past deprivation of timely and proper treatment. The International Crimes Tribunal won today framed charges against 13 people, including ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in a case filed over enforced disappearances and torture at the Joint Interrogation Cell during the previous Awami League government. The three-member tribunal headed by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtaza Muzumdar passed the order setting January 19 and submitting opening statement by prosecution. The other 12 in the case are Sheikh Hasina's former secretary and defense advisor of the Tariq Ahmed Siddiq and Muhammad Akbar Hussain, Muhammad Saiful Abidin, Muhammad Saiful Alam, Muhammad Tabriz Shams Chaudhary, Hamidul Haq, Muhammad Tawhidul Islam, Sheikh Muhammad Sarwar Hussain, Kabir Ahmed, Muhammad Mahbubur Rahman Siddiqui, Ahmed Tanvir Mazhar Siddiqui, and Maqsoodul Haq. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tazul Islam took part in the hearing, pleading to frame 5 charges against the accused. Defense counsels, however, argue for discharging them, saying their clients are innocent. Bangladesh Bank Governor Dr. Ahsan H. Mansoor said that elections will not trigger an economic collapse, emphasizing that overall economic stability has largely been restored. There is no reason for economy to take part in the effort centering on this election, he also added. Bangladesh Bank Governor expressed optimism that the country's foreign exchange reserve will climb to between $34 billion and $35 billion by the end of the current 2025-2026 fiscal year. The governor added there are currently no issues with the exchange rate and their country's foreign exchange reserve remain at a satisfactory level. Dr. Mansoor made this remark today while speaking at the seminar titled Banking Sector Reform Challenges and the Way Forward, held at the ERF Auditorium in the capital. The governor further stated that Bangladesh doesn't require IMF assistance to manage its balance to payment. While the banking sector crisis has eased somewhat, the capital shortfall still exists. The police have recovered the hanging body of a leader of the National Citizen Party from a hostel in the Jigatola, Hazaribagh in Dhaka. The deceased has been identified as Janatara Rumi. She was the joint coordinator for the Coordination Committee of NCP Dhaka Metropolitan South Dhanmondi Unit. Preliminary police suspect that committed suicide was wrapping up a scarf around her neck. However, the exact reason for the death is not yet known. Her body was recovered on Thursday morning from the room on the 5th floor of the Jannati Girls Hostel in the Jigatola area. The body of the deceased has been sent to the morgue of Dhaka Medical College Hospital for autopsy. Police blocked a march towards the office of the Assistant High Commission of India in Rajshahi, organized by Bharatiya Adhipatya Birodhi July 36 Mancha. The march, titled March to Assistant Indian High Commission Rajshahi, began around 12:30 p.m. with 10-15 members of the platform arriving at the Bodremore in city with national flag tied around their heads. Members of the July 36 platform were seen chanting various Into India slogans during the program. At present, members of July 36 platform are staying at a seat in the road about 100 years away from the High Commission office. They will begin marching towards the Assistant Indian High Commission office located in the Podda residential area while chanting slogan. However, they were sloping by the police with barricade in front of the Assistant Indian High Commission office. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with.
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. There is no evidence indicating the two suspects involved in Australia Bondi Beach attack received any form of military training, while the Philippines said the Philippines National Security Advisor on Wednesday. In his statement, Antonio Ano said on a mere visit to the country doesn't sustainable allegations of the terrorist training and the duration of his stay would not have the permitted any meaningful for the struggling training. The alleged father and son gunmen opened up fire in the hookah celebration at the Sydney Bondi Beach on Sunday and killing 15 in the attack that shocked Australia and heightened fears of the anti-Semitism and violent extremism. Ono said the government was investigating the two men's travel from the November 1st and 28th and coordinating with Australian authorities and determine the purpose of visit, dismissing report that portraying the southern Philippines as a hotspot for violent extremism as outdated and misleading as well. However, immigration records show the pair landed in Manila and traveled to Davao City in the Mindanao in the region long placed the militancy. Australia will introduce wide-ranging reform to crack down on hate speech, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said on Thursday, days after the country's worst mass shooting took place in nearly 3 decades. Albanese said the government will seek to introduce the legislation that makes it easier to change the people promoting hate speech and violence, as well as increase the penalty, a developed regime for targeting organization holds later engaged in hate speech. It was so much clear that much more needed to be drawn to combat the evil surge, he also added. Albanese government is facing the criticism that the center of government didn't do enough to prevent of the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia during the 2-year Israel-Gaza war. Albanese government said it has consistently denounced the anti-Semitism over the last 2 years.
The government adopts and fully supports the plan to combat anti-Semitism. We have already legislated for hate speech.
The United States on Wednesday approved $11.1 billion in arms sales to Taiwan, the largest ever U.S. weapon package for the island, which is under increasing the miserly pressure from China. The Taiwan arms sale announcement is the second under U.S. President Donald Trump's current administration and comes as Beijing ramps up its military and diplomatic pressure against Taiwan. Host government reject Beijing's sovereignty claim. The proposed arms sale cover 8 items, including Hamas rocket system, the Houston Zavin anti-tank missile, the intense slaughter, the missioning drones, and parts of other equipment, Taiwan's defense minister said in a statement. The minister said the package is at the congressional notification stage, which is where Congress has a chance to block alter the sale is washed. Through Taiwan was widespread cross-party support. In a series of separate statements announcing details for the weapons of deal, the Pentagon said arms sales serve U.S. national, economic, and security interests by supporting Taiwan's continuing effort to modernize its armed forces and to maintain a credible defensive capability. Meanwhile, China on Thursday condemned the United States' new arms sale to Taiwan, saying Washington has seriously violated on One China principle and damaged peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. The U.S. side has openly announced a large-scale program to procure advanced weapons, which continues a serious violation of One China, the principle, and the three Sino. U.S. joined the community severely undermining China's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity, said Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Zhaikun in a press conference. Guo urged the U.S. to immediately stop arming Taiwan, as he stated that move only the backfire. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said on Wednesday that his country will continue its oil trip after U.S. President Donald Trump ordered a blockade on tanker entering or leaving Venezuela, as most exports from the country remained on hold. Trump had ordered on Tuesday a blockade of all sanctioned oil tanker entered the leaving Venezuela, calling Maduro's administration a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro attended an event at the Bolivarian Society to mark the death anniversary of the Liberator Simon Bolivar, saying the Caribbean country would continue its international trade as its oil product, including oil, and the president also mentioned a conversation of UN General Assembly Antonio Guterres on Wednesday. Belgian Prime Minister Bart De Wever told his country's parliament early on Thursday that he had not yet seen the guarantee that answered his concern on legal and liquidity risk, and there is no free money. Russia's central bank has said EU plan to use its assets are illegal and reserve the right to use all available means to protect its interest. It filed a lawsuit in Moscow that week seeking the $230 billion in damages from clearinghouse Ilclear. The stakes are high because without the EU's financial help, Ukraine will run out of money in the second quarter of next year and most likely lose the war of Russia, which the EU fears would bring closure and threat of Russian aggregation the EU. Japan, which depends on imported fuel for around 70% of its energy needs, told U.S. allies within the group of 7 major economies its position on energy security. Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kihara said on Thursday, securing LNG from overseas, including the Sakhalin project, is extremely important for Japan's energy security. Japan will continue to work closely within the G7 international community to ensure there is no disruption in the stable supply of LNG to Japan. And Kihara said the move undercame dispute pressure and trade negotiation by the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump on China, India, and Japan to reduce their purchases of Russian oil and LNG. The U.S. extended on Wednesday a waiver allowing oil stemmed from Russia's Sakhalin-2 project through June 13 next year, a move that likely allow production of liquefied natural gas from project to continue. Bolivian President Rodrigo Paz, who took office last month, said on Wednesday that his government would remove long-standing fuel subsidies in a bid to shore up public account, while Paz said the details of the move would be laid out in the pending government decree. They appear to apply immediately to the agriculture and business sector, which the president previously said he would target first. Paz also opened the door, allowing them diesel import as a state-run oil company. YPFB has struggled to secure supply. Bolivia first fuel prices in 2006 with a liter of diesel costing 3.72 Bolivian and premium gasoline 3.74 Bolivianos, and diesel will now cost 9.80 Bolivianos per liter and premium will cost 6.96 Boliviano per liter. Meanwhile, Oil and Gas Minister Murcio Mandeseli said on prices would be fixed up for 6 months, so he didn't rule out further adjustment. A poll released on Tuesday found that President Trump's approval rating slipped to nearly its lowest point his second term. The poll found that 39% of Americans responded said they approved the Trump handing of the presidency, while 59% said they disapprove of Trump's job performance. The pollster also found that Trump's approval among Republicans remained high at 85%, down from the 91% at the start from his second term in January, and Trump approval among Democrats reached 4% in December, down from 9% at the start from new term. Trump approval among independents also saw the decline since January. 26% of the respondents December approved the president grasps on economy, down from 44% in January. Honduras ruling party Libre called on supporters on Wednesday to rally at the presidential residence to protest what it described as the electoral coup and U.S. President Donald Trump interference as the special audit for the late November presidential election remained stalled. Days before the vote, Trump continued and conditioned Washington support on a right-wing candidate, the Nasri Oswald victory, and promised to pardon former President Juan Orlando Hernández, who was serving a prison sentence in the United States on drug trafficking charges. Honduran President Xiomara Castro said on-country democracy was at risk of foreign manipulation. The special audit of Honduras' late November presidential election remained stalled on Wednesday. Before ending, we go through the SATV News headlines again. Khalada's condition remains stable, said Dr. Izzat M. Zahid. Treatment continues. International Crimes Tribunal indict ousted Hasina and 12 others in enforced disappearance case. Police obstruct protest march to Assistant High Commission of India in Rajshahi. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.